Pete Buttigieg, either he's really about talking about Bernie or he's just getting asked about Bernie a lot. But 2 times in the last week or so, he's seemingly attacked Bernie. So we're gonna break down the most recent one now. In an interview, Buttigieg said Mr. Sanders' left-wing proposals were no longer as provocative as in 2016. Quote, people were refreshed by the novelty of that boldness and expressed skepticism that a self-described democratic socialist in his late 70s could win a general election. I think he's in his mid 70s. Quote, I have a hard time seeing the coalition ultimately coming together there.
Well, I mean, he's polling pretty well, so what? And he also has specific policy proposals that he's been advocating for literally for decades. And what does Buttigieg bring to the table other than a lot of poetic talk? And honestly, he brings nothing to the table. There's nothing specific. What would you do? And he thinks that there's something wrong with running for president and revealing to the voters what you would do and how you would do it. It's hilarious because, look, the mainstream media is constantly playing this disingenuous game of how are you gonna pay for it with Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, right?
Right.
Now, they've explained how they're gonna pay for their policies over and over again, but the mainstream media doesn't care. When it comes to Buttigieg, he doesn't wanna reveal what his actual policies are, where his stances are, and for some reason, he is better than all these other candidates in the eyes of mainstream media political pundits.
Because they're obsessed with this nonsense, like their version of superficiality, which is you speak 6 different languages, right? Like I don't care. I care about somebody's savvy and their intelligence in the sense of their capacity to understand how things work, understand power, and have a clear value set. I don't care what their degree is in or how many languages they speak. I just don't. And if anything, that could potentially be undermining of a certain kind of leadership. But I think that what strikes me about that comment is, one, I think even people on our side of the equation are talking about who can win way too early. There's a dynamic in which there's only okay, Amy Klobuchar probably is not gonna win anything, right? But there's a scenario in which Trump is really unpopular at the moment. He's vulnerable to all of them. That dynamic could change in several months and he could be much stronger against any of them. That being said, what is mind-blowing to me is if you just took it in a super narrow electoral college framework, where Bernie is strong and overperforms is in the map that you need to win to win the race. He's gonna overperform in the industrial Midwest. He's gonna speak to exactly those types of concern sets amongst the working class of all racial backgrounds. So actually a candidate like Buttigieg, to me, is more dangerous, and not just because of people's homophobia, which will be an issue that people need to be real about, and of course we should fight against that, but also because this sort of weird 2019 Thomas Friedman thing he's doing is appealing to what is he gonna do? Drive up the margin in Westchester? I don't think this is gonna bring out somebody in Wisconsin who's jobless.
It's interesting because he has been talking about Bernie a lot. He had the thing last week, which we criticized on the show a little bit less for attacking Bernie and more for it sort of ignoring some of the cultural reasons that Donald Trump ended up in the White House, about how wanting to blow up the system means you could support Bernie or Trump. I guess you flip a coin, you support one of the two or whatever. But he's been targeting Bernie. I wonder if he's going to quickly turn his criticisms against Biden, because I have a feeling that in terms of competition over voters, there's some weird stuff in the polls where Biden voters' second choice is Bernie, Bernie's voters' second choice is Biden, which doesn't make any sense to me, but it exists. We'll have to see how that shakes out. But I have a feeling that Buttigieg is gonna be competing for the Biden voters much more than the Bernie voters. So I think he's gonna have to change his rhetoric in that regard. And in terms of, you were talking about the competition for the Rust Belt, Industrial Midwest, all of that. Biden has this aura of that's who he is. He appeals to those people. And I would love to see the empirical basis for that statement. I mean, I've heard about it for years and years. We've seen him run for president a couple of times. Whatever that strength was supposed to bring, it didn't manifest in the previous times he tried to become president. Dave Weigel had a great tweet breaking down in 2008 where his support was coming from, and it was from non-union households with income between 75 and 125K or something like that. It was not, and anyway, so Biden is gonna run up against that aura. I think will be undercut by Bernie's actual popularity in that group. And then Buttigieg has a lot of the sort of getting things back to the way they were appeal that Biden would, except he also speaks Norwegian and plays the Zephyr or whatever. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.